Morning. Well, it's another one of those perfect frosty mornings you get in February. And I'm down at Consell at the RSPB Reserve. Got it to myself at the moment, which is nice. But just look at this, it's beautiful. So, grabbing a quick morning to see if I can grab any shots for the calendar. Don't know, it's a lovely morning, but I don't know if anything's going to be very inspiring. But I'll have a stroll and I might drag the phone out and just do a bit of videoing here. It's absolutely beautiful down here this morning. Just taking some photos of these reflections, so hopefully they'll turn out something nice. I just love it. Love the reflections down here. It is so still. Typically it's freezing, so my hands are cold. But it's absolutely beautiful, and there's hardly a sound. About the loudest sound I can hear at the moment is a woodpecker, which is down in those woods there that you can see on the screen. Just tapping away. And it sounds like another one in the woods behind me as well. This is stunning this morning. If anybody's wondering about the artistic process for this, artistic process is probably over glorifying what I actually do most of the time. I'm not one of these photographers that will pick up a map and deduce exactly where the sun is going to be at a certain time of day and then rush out to a particular spot with a tripod and filters and all the other stuff. It's just not me. I like to go to a spot, feel the atmosphere of the place, take in the sounds, and then stroll around until I see something that speaks to me. So I do have my favourite places that I've been lucky at before. You just think, oh, it worked there before on this sort of day, so I'll go and see what else it's got to offer. Consell's one of my favourite spots. Spent a lot of time down here over the years. Just gone quiet for a second because I thought I heard something walking around down there. But I think it was probably a blackbird just turning the leaves over. They always make a lot of noise. I can hear it scurrying around down there. You never know, could have been a fox. It's one of the reasons I come down to Consell was to photograph the foxes. Always a passion of mine. Do love photographing foxes and fox cubs. So, what I do is wander down to a place, stroll around, like I say, get the feel of it, and then see if there's anything worth photographing. Some days it's just a pleasant walk with my camera. My poor camera does get a lot of walks where it's not used. It's getting a bit of use today though. Car in the background. That's probably only the second one been up the road since I've been here, so it's not exactly rush hour. do love the play of the light on the ice. I've taken a few shots, so until we get back and have a look on the computer and see what the pictures have come out like, I don't know if they're going to be any good. I'll probably wind a few in amongst the video clips for today and see what comes out of the day's shoot. It's one of those things, it's very speculative. You know, taking 3 or 4 hours away from potentially paying business to take the landscape photos that may never get used is always a risk. When I was an amateur and working for somebody else, doing a proper job, for days like this I'd be rushing out to take loads of photos. Now it's the occasional treat when I've got time to fit in amongst doing invoices, chasing payments, working on tax, all the stuff that comes with having a business, I suppose. Anyway, I'll put this phone down for a bit and see if I can find somewhere else to take some pictures while the light's still good. Well, I've left the ponds behind and I've walked down the bank and into the wood. And it's lovely, as always. I think the sun's just a little bit too high to get some misty shots through the trees, but you never know. This a ridge a little bit further up, I might just be able to get some shots from there. So we'll have a look at that in a few minutes. I've got my favourite little circuit which I'll probably stroll. I may even take you along for that. But at the moment it's just a nice gentle meander through the wood. And I'll keep my ear open in case anything interesting is scurrying around in the undergrowth, but I'm not really dressed to go crawling around photographing foxes. So anything I do get will be a lucky accident and nothing more. Not seen a soul yet, which is brilliant. Anyway, I think this is my turn off down the bank. And it's a bit slippy underfoot, so I'll put this down and concentrate on my footsteps, he says as he slips. Well, you can see the mist there through the trees, so if I can get a bit lower down there, I might get some nice shots through the trees. Well, he's hoping anyway. I'm safely down at the bottom of the bank and the sun's not playing ball, and what I thought might be mist is actually the frost. I don't know if it's picking up on this, but the tops of the trees down here where they've not been hit by the sun are still frozen, which is quite magical, but not what I wanted to photograph. So yeah, I think it's going to be back up the slope, which doesn't look that much on camera, and into the sunlight again. The temperature down here has dropped tremendously. Yeah, so head back into the light. I've just made my way to the top of the ridge and gotten my breath back, obviously, to one of my favourite haunts. I'll show you the view out over the valley. Those trees that form the ridge, the opposite side were the ones we were looking up at a minute ago, or 20 minutes ago in my case. And that's down into the valley. And head back over here. I've already had a quick look around, but there's no sign of any foxes today, so I've seen all sorts up here. Used to lie in wait for the foxes that had their holes to the left of the screen. You can see that big tree, well, their foxholes were just down there. So I used to sit and just wait for them, nice and quietly. I've seen a fox come trotting down the path that's in the middle of the screen with lunch in its mouth. I've had a hare run almost right up to me, just the other side of the fence on the right. And one very memorable occasion. And if you can imagine the scene, I've been up here and I'm on my own. And it's very, very foggy. I mean, only see a few feet really. Absolutely still, silent. And then out of the fog comes this monster. I think it was a cross between a long-haired Alsatian and an Irish Wolfhound. So you imagine long-haired Alsatian size of an Irish Wolfhound. Big. Came out of the fog on its own. Quite freaked me out until its owner turned up. And it was a big softie really, as she said. But yeah, that was a heart-stopping moment. You hear paws coming at you through the mist and the fog, and you're expecting a little fox. And then you just keep looking up and up and up into the face of this huge thing. Yeah, that stayed with me. Over to the right, in a couple of months, 3 months, all that will be ablaze with bluebells and look gorgeous. At the moment it's still got the winter colouring, which is absolutely lovely as well. And you see the days, stunning, the sky's lovely and blue. Still yet to see a person, which is good because they probably think I'm a nutter chatting to myself as I'm walking through the wood. I've just seen something moving down the path though. Probably just another blackbird. And I'm making too much noise for it to still be there when we get down that end. But you never know. It might have even showed up on camera. Have to have a look at that when we get back. There is some car noise, traffic noise, right in the distance. I think it must be off the Cheadle Road. And some bangs and booms, maybe quarrying from somewhere. But it's so far in the distance, it still feels really peaceful. Two things have just run over the path. I think it was rabbits. Which definitely means there'll be no foxes about. Pity. Still. It's a gorgeous morning. Still frosty up here as well, look. Maybe not rabbits, maybe squirrels. I think I captured that last one trotting across the path, and there goes another one. And another one. It's safe to say I have actually seen quite a lot of squirrels today. Anyway, I'll put this down, grab my camera and see if there's anything interesting to photograph. Just fought my way out of the wood, the trackless wood, and thought it'd be useful to share something with you guys. Always useful if you're out and about to have a map with you and some way of spotting which way is north. This is the map I carry with me when I'm round the local area. It's made by a company called Splash Maps. It's not a sponsored post, but I've had this for about a year now and I've found it quite useful. You can centre it wherever you like to cover a certain distance. So this covers the area I'm most likely to be walking in from home, doing photos for the calendar really. It's unique in that it is, I can grab it, like a silk map. It's lovely and soft. I'll focus up on that. The detail is brilliant. I was unsure that you'd be able to navigate using one of these, but as you can see from that, the detail is lovely. It's very lightweight. It's fabric, so it's waterproof, or doesn't get harmed when it gets wet, so you can read it in whatever the weather. There are drawbacks to it. It's difficult to read unless you lay it on a flat surface. As you can see, it's difficult like that. But once you have got it laid out, it's very useful. And when you're done with it, I scrunch it up and throw it in a pocket, and I don't even know I've got it with me, which is lovely. Not had to use it today. Had to use it near enough the first time I brought it out. I was in the woods just outside of Leek and followed a path that wasn't a path to a fence that wasn't in my memory banks, to be honest. And then it was a case of digging the map out, orientating it and seeing where I was. And I wouldn't have normally packed a map, but because it takes no space in my pocket really, and it's no real weight, I'd got it with me, and it just made life a lot easier. I could have backtracked for 20 minutes, but as it was, a quick hop over a fence and a 2-minute stroll across a field, and I knew exactly where I was. So very useful. Like I say, I'll put a link to the company Splash Maps. They're not brilliantly cheap, but like I say, that's been knocking around in my pocket for a year and it's showing no wear whatsoever. So they are very, very useful. And like I say, you can centre it on your favourite area. So if there's a spot you walk in all the time, it would be handy to have one. And you just tuck it in the bottom of your rucksack. At worst, you've got yourself an expensive lens cloth, but it could save your life one day. Or at least save you a half-hour walk through a very tight wood. Right, well, I'll carry on my stroll and see what the rest of the wood's got to offer. Well, I'm heading downhill now, so I can video and talk as long as I don't fall over. Heading back to the car. I've been out about 2 hours, and it's a glorious day. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful, as you can see. In one of the prettiest spots in the Churnick Valley, and I've not seen a soul. Not a single person. I'd say 2 cars passed me when I was on the road, and I've seen lots of squirrels and blackbirds, buzzards, some rabbits, I think. But yeah, just me in the wood. It's been brilliant. So I'm just heading, like I say, down this reasonably steep bank, and that cage there, let's go there, I think hides a mine shaft. Always have to be a bit conscious around here when you go wandering off path that you don't go dropping down a mine shaft, but I think most of them are pretty well marked. The main paths are reasonably good. We've got some nice mist coming through the trees I've just seen. I'll just head down here. Now, many years ago, I took a self-portrait of myself down here, leaning against one of these trees. Don't know which one. Times change, trees grow and get knocked down. I think it must have been that one. It was probably on slide film, so I probably can't find it now. If I find it, I might pop it on there. You can have a laugh at a younger me. That bench didn't exist when I was down here. Sort of gentrification of the woodland. I know it makes it more accessible to people, but it's a wild space. It should be wild. I suppose in 10 years' time, when I'm absolutely knackered, I might be grateful of a bench. Alright, so I'm back on the main path, as you can see. It's like a motorway. Apart from a steep little walk down from the car park, this is like this for a couple of miles, I think. Just undulating. The river to one side of you, and the big wood to the side, that side. I bet at the weekend this place will be rammed, but midweek, in winter, it's lovely. Right, well, I'm going to enjoy the rest of this stroll back, and then get home, have some lunch, and do some proper work. Who knows, I might have taken an award-winning photo of the lake, but I don't think so. I think there'll be some pretty pleasant stuff, but I won't know till I get back. I'll speak to you later. Bye bye.